The message arrived at 11:47 on a Tuesday night. Your husband is cheating on you. Don't confront him yet. I stared at my phone, convinced it had to be some kind of sick joke. Then another message appeared. A photograph. My husband, Daniel, was standing outside a hotel in downtown Chicago. And beside him was his younger sister, Lauren. My hands went cold. Then another message arrived. Lauren isn't the woman he's sleeping with. Look at the hotel reservation. I opened the attached screenshot. Daniel's name was listed as the primary guest. The second guest was a woman named Rebecca Collins. I had never heard that name before. Welcome back to Karma Stories Hub. Today's story is about family, betrayal, manipulation, and the moment karma finally catches up with people who thought they'd never face consequences. If you enjoy satisfying revenge and emotional justice stories, you're in the right place. Grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's get into today's story. My name is Emma Carter. I'd been married to Daniel for 6 years. We lived in a quiet suburb outside Chicago, and until recently, I thought our marriage was ordinary. I worked as an operations manager for a medical supply company. Daniel worked in commercial real estate. We weren't rich, but we had a comfortable home, savings, and plans for the future. Lauren had always been close to Daniel. After her divorce, she depended on him constantly. At first, I never minded. But over the past few months, Daniel had started acting differently. He came home late. He took phone calls outside. He changed his phone password. And whenever I entered the room while he was texting, he turned the screen away. One night, I asked him directly. Is something wrong? He smiled. It's work, Emma. That's all. I wanted to believe him. So I did. Until I saw that hotel photograph. I checked the timestamp. 9:18 p.m. That same night, Daniel had texted me at 9:32. Still at the office. Don't wait up. He had lied. I typed back to the unknown number. Who are you? There was a long pause. Then the answer came. Someone who should have warned you months ago. I stared at the message. Someone knew. Someone had been watching Daniel. And someone wanted me to discover the truth. The next morning, I searched through our shared financial documents. That's when I found Rebecca's name again. She was connected to one of Daniel's property companies. But the address listed for her company wasn't an office. It was my father-in-law's house. I froze. Why would Rebecca's business be connected to Daniel's father? Before I could investigate further, my phone buzzed. One final message appeared. Go to Michael's house tomorrow. Ask him about Rebecca. For the first time, I realized the affair might be only the beginning. Because whatever Daniel was hiding wasn't just about another woman. It involved his family. And possibly me. The next morning, I drove to Michael's house. My father-in-law opened the door and immediately looked nervous. Emma? What are you doing here? I need to ask you about Rebecca Collins. His face changed. He stepped aside. We sat in the living room, and I showed him the photograph. Michael stared at it for several seconds. Then he sighed. How much do you know? Not enough. He looked down. Rebecca is connected to one of Daniel's property investments. And the affair? Michael didn't answer. That was enough. I felt my chest tighten. How long? Almost a year. I closed my eyes. A year. My husband had been lying to me for almost a year. But Michael wasn't finished. The affair isn't the worst part. He walked to a cabinet and brought back a folder. Inside were bank statements. He placed one in front of me. My name was clearly visible. So was a transfer from our joint savings account. $38,000. I never made this transfer. I know. Then who did? Michael looked at me. Daniel. I felt sick. He showed me several more transactions. Money had been moved between accounts connected to Daniel, Rebecca, and Lauren. Then he handed me a document. It contained my name and a signature line. What is this? Something Daniel wants you to sign. I read the first page. It appeared to make me responsible for several financial transactions I had never authorized. I looked at Michael. He was going to blame me. Michael nodded. He believes you'll sign anything if he tells you it's for the family. My eyes filled with tears. Why would he do this? Because Lauren is deeply in debt. Suddenly, everything started connecting. Lauren needed money. Daniel had lost money trying to help her. Rebecca was involved in the investment. And Daniel was trying to cover everything by making the financial responsibility look like mine. Then my phone buzzed. The anonymous number. Ask Michael who sent the first photograph. I slowly looked at him. Was it you? Michael's eyes filled with guilt. Yes. Why didn't you tell me directly? Because Daniel knows I'm investigating him. I stood up. You should have warned me sooner. I know. He handed me another document. It was an email from Daniel to Lauren. The subject line read, "Once Emma signs, we're safe." My hand started shaking. Lauren knew. She had been part of the plan. I folded the document and put it in my bag. Michael looked at me. Don't confront Daniel yet. I nodded. Because if Daniel believed I still trusted him, he would eventually show me exactly what he was planning. And this time, I would be ready. That evening, Daniel came home carrying a folder. I've been working on something that could help us financially, he said. I already knew what was inside. I smiled. Okay. He placed the papers on the kitchen table. Just sign here. I picked them up. The documents transferred responsibility for several accounts to me. Exactly what Michael had warned me about. I looked at Daniel. Can I read everything first? He hesitated. Sure. I pretended to study the pages while secretly photographing them with my phone. Then I smiled. I'll sign tomorrow. Daniel looked relieved. Thank you. He kissed me. I felt nothing. The moment he went upstairs, I sent the photographs to an attorney Michael had recommended. Her name was Karen. She called me within minutes. Emma, don't sign anything. I won't. Secure your bank accounts tonight. And don't tell Daniel what you know. I followed every instruction. Then, just before midnight, my phone rang. Lauren. I almost ignored it. Emma, she whispered. Please listen. Why should I? Because Daniel lied to me too. I stayed silent. She started crying. I knew about the money. I knew he was moving it around. But I didn't know he planned to put everything in your name. What changed? Rebecca threatened to expose him. My stomach tightened. Why? Because Daniel was paying her to keep quiet about their affair. Lauren then told me something that changed everything. She had secretly recorded Daniel talking to Rebecca. She sent me the recording. I pressed play. Daniel's voice was unmistakable. Emma will sign. She trusts me. Once she does, the debt becomes her problem. I closed my eyes. There it was. Proof. Not suspicion. Not rumors. Proof. I sent the recording to Karen. She told me to stay somewhere safe. That night, I went to a friend's apartment. The next morning, Karen, Michael, and I met. She explained that the bank had already confirmed the suspicious transfers weren't authorized by me. The recording and emails showed Daniel had planned to shift the blame. But Karen warned me. We need to let him make one more mistake. I understood. Daniel still believed his plan was working. So I went home that evening. He was waiting for me. Did you think about the papers? I smiled. Yes. And? I looked directly into his eyes. I think we should talk about Rebecca first. Daniel went completely still. For the first time since I had known him, I saw genuine fear on his face. He whispered. Who told you? And I realized he finally understood. The woman he thought he could deceive was no longer playing by his rules. Daniel stared at me. Emma, it's not what you think. I almost laughed. You've been seeing Rebecca for almost a year. He sat down. I made a mistake. No. You made a choice. Over and over again. He looked toward the documents on the table. Did my father tell you? I didn't answer. His phone suddenly rang. Rebecca. Daniel rejected the call. Then another message appeared. His face went pale. I knew then that Rebecca wasn't just his affair partner. She was part of the reason he was desperate. The next morning, Karen contacted me. Rebecca has agreed to cooperate. She provided messages showing Daniel had used her company to move money. The bank records confirmed the unauthorized transfers. The recording from Lauren proved Daniel intended to make me responsible. The emails from Michael connected Lauren to the plan. There was nowhere left for Daniel to hide. When the investigation began, Daniel tried to claim that I had misunderstood everything. But the documents told a different story. His own messages contradicted him. His financial records contradicted him. And the recording contradicted him. Lauren eventually admitted what she had done. She said she had been desperate after her divorce and believed Daniel was the only person who could save her. But desperation didn't excuse betrayal. Daniel had chosen to protect his sister, his money, and his affair. He had simply assumed I would pay the price. I filed for divorce. There was no dramatic revenge. No screaming in front of his family. No attempt to destroy him. I simply walked away. The financial investigation continued, and Daniel had to face the consequences of his own decisions. Lauren was also forced to deal with the debts she had tried to hide. Michael apologized to me. I should have told you sooner. I looked at him. Yes, you should have. But you eventually told me the truth. He nodded. I couldn't erase what happened, but I could choose what happened next. I moved into a small apartment near my workplace. For the first time in years, every account was mine. Every decision was mine. And every morning, I woke up without wondering what my husband was hiding. Months later, I realized something. Daniel had spent months trying to make me afraid of losing everything. Instead, he gave me something I hadn't realized I needed. The courage to stop trusting someone who had betrayed my trust. My greatest revenge wasn't watching Daniel suffer. It was walking away with my name, my finances, and my peace intact. I learned that love doesn't require you to ignore warning signs. Trust doesn't mean surrendering control of your life. And sometimes, karma isn't about destroying the person who hurt you. Sometimes, karma is simply letting the truth expose them. So, what would you have done in my situation? Would you have confronted Daniel immediately, or gathered evidence first? If you enjoyed today's story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another karma story.